He wants more than dinner.
Ew.
Ever since the release of the first season on Netflix back in February of 2018, Good Girls has become one of the most popular comedies surrounding the dramatic world of money laundering. And with the way that the season 3 finale left a number of developmental storylines in the air, there is no doubt that fans can't wait to get their hands on a 4th installment. But what do we actually know about season 4 of Good Girls at the moment? And when can we actually expect to catch the anticipated release on our screens? Well, whether you're a fan of the comedy drama or you just want to know as much as possible so that way you can catch up to season 4 like the rest of us, you've come to the right place, as we're about to explore everything there is to know about season 4 of Good Girls. So strap yourselves in and get ready to launder some money as things are about to get interesting. But before we get into it, don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to our channel, as well as turning on post notifications so you never miss another update from us. The renewal of Good Girls. The vast majority of Good Girl fans found themselves to be pretty unsettled when the finale of season 3 came along, which left us with far more questions unanswered than is usually the case. But the showrunners of the show, in the form of Jenna Bans and Bill Krebs, actually had a pretty decent excuse for the way things had been left. You see, season 3 had actually come to an abrupt halt as a result of the global health situation, which we all know wreaked havoc on the filming industry, and rather than waiting to release what had already been filmed for season 3, fans were excited to reunite with their favorite franchise. But it won't surprise you all to hear that the excitement of earlier was then replaced by frustration. So many unanswered questions and absolutely no answers in the foreseeable future. What could be worse? Well, to make up for the situation, which was clearly out of the hands of the showrunners, Netflix decided to announce that a 4th season of the show will most definitely be hitting the streaming platform as soon as the global health situation is allowing it to. This would also mean that, for the first time ever in the franchise, a new season would not be picked up after experiencing a brief time jump. In other words, fans of the show can expect season 4 to start off precisely where season 3 ended, acting as more of a continuation of season 3 rather than anything else. Discussing the situation with Entertainment Weekly, Bill Krebs said, quote, "We'd already sort of been discussing season 4 through the end of season 3, and that it was going to hand off into season 4 in a nice way. So now, this just buys us the ability to really hit the ground running into season 4 and help us to expand some of the storylines into the future episodes. So now that we're all well aware that season 4 of Good Girls is definitely happening, what do we know about the newest installation of the franchise? The season 4 release date. Since production started back in October of last year, it was looking like things are going to be pretty much sorted out by March 2021 at the very least. But since a number of delays have been plaguing shows, people didn't exactly have their hopes up. And in fact, Netflix in general has been pretty pessimistic over the past year, not releasing any info pertaining to release dates until both the filming and post-production of a show have already been completed. Gone are the days where viewers could put a date set aside for years in advance, as Netflix knows just how disappointing fans can be when a release date's pushed back. But when it comes to Good Girls, things are a little bit different. You see, the rights to the show are only partially owned by Netflix. As a result of this strange deal, season 4 of Good Girls actually found itself airing on NBC back on the 7th of March. So if you really can't wait to get your hands on the new season, then you're going to have to get a subscription to the cable network, and you can't find the season streaming anywhere else at the moment. As to when the season will officially be hitting Netflix for free, it's probably going to do us some good to take a look at the history of the streaming platform. It appears as if all 3 previous seasons of Good Girls were made available on the streaming giant nearly a year ago after their respective premieres on NBC. In other words, we can probably expect season 4 of the show to be made available on Netflix sometime around March 2022. Now, don't get us wrong, that's a long wait, but it sure does beat having to purchase a package of cable television. And if you really can't wait, maybe try to find a friend who's already got the package at home. Otherwise, it's looking like March 2022 is going to be the year for you. The cast of Good Girls. Since the story of Good Girls revolves around the hilarious lives of Beth Boland, as portrayed by Christina Hendricks, Annie Marks, as played by Mae Whitman, and Ruby Hill, as brought to life by Rita, we can expect the 3 comedians to make a return to the show. There is no Good Girls without them after all, and we can also expect the return of Rena Wilson as Stan Hill, Matthew Lillard as Dean Boland, Manny Montana as Rio, Carlos Alves as Mick, and of course, Lauren Lapkus as Phoebe Donnegen. Sources have even suggested that there's going to be a few more newcomers to the franchise, with one fresh face on the scene being that of Jonathan Silverman, who's going to be portraying the role of Dave. While not much is actually known about Dave at the moment, the character has been described as a member of the Secret Service that becomes determined to bring the trio of Beth, Annie, and Ruby down for good. Super Sleuths were also able to do a deep dive into the Instagram account of Manny Montana, where they ended up finding a picture of the star who plays Rio, standing alongside another that he referred to in the caption as quote-unquote Uncle Rio. In other words, this could mean that the new cast members will be brought on to possibly play the role of Rio's extended family. Fans have wanted to know more about the guy in recent sessions, so maybe this is his season to shine. Either way, it's looking as if season 4 of Good Girls will see the return of all of our favorite actors and actresses, along with some new faces that are surely to only add to the hilarity of the franchise. Who knows? Maybe our favorite characters have yet to be introduced. A recap of season 3. To truly be able to get to the bottom of what has been expected from the 4th season of Good Girls, we're going to need to first remind ourselves of what had happened in the previous short but sweet 3rd season of the franchise. It all starts off with our favorite trio trying their hands at printing their own money, which seems to be a lot more difficult than most people made it seem in the movies. We also ended up discovering that Rio is still alive and being used as the protected informant of Agent Turner. Unfortunately for the detective, however, he's double-crossed by Rio, causing him to get shot and allowed Rio to walk free without a single care in the world. Knowing full well that Turner's gone for good, and after protecting their own batch of currency, the trio decides to start their own business up once more, making a plan to clean the money. At the same time, Beth needs to put up with Dean's mother, who still holds the view that women shouldn't work, begging Beth to stay home with the kids. Worse yet, she needs to lie to Rio about being pregnant with his kid, which causes a whole new scenario to develop with her being placed under constant surveillance. As things develop further, Beth admits the truth to Rio while organizing for payments to be made to him on a regular basis. Ruby also covers for her thieving daughter, while Annie starts to develop feelings for her therapist. Lucy, the designer of the currency, gets offed by Rio and Beth, keeping her bird as a reminder of the mistakes that she made. Lucy's boyfriend, Max, doesn't give up on finding her though, and is convinced that Beth has something to do with her disappearance. Fast forward a little bit more, and Rio finally agrees to pay the girls a salary for the work that they've been doing with him, but only after delivering a package. And surprise, surprise, the package was Leslie all along. The feds then catch on to the use of nail polish in the making of the fraudulent notes, causing them to recall the nail polish and slow the printing down. The idea is then hatch to steal the nail polish needed and open up a hot tub joint to clean the cash once printed. Season 3 then ends with the trio relaxing in the park after having just paid a hitman to take care of Rio. Oh, and did we mention that Phoebe Donnegen, the undercover FBI agent, meets up with him shortly afterwards? The plot of season 4 of Good Girls. Suffice it to say, we can definitely expect to see more of Phoebe as the season starts up, since especially she knows that the trio knows everything there is to know about one another. She doesn't quite know what any of them have to do with the money laundering situation just yet, but as she spends more time with the friend group, she is sure to discover more. It's also possible that Phoebe knows a lot more that she's let on, as she currently does have Ruby's phone in her possession. This was probably the biggest cliffhanger that Good Girls ended on, so there's no doubt that season 4 is going to be diving headfirst into the continuation of the development. Secondly, viewers are also waiting in anticipation to see what the trio's payment to the hitman is going to result in. Since he is a professional, we almost expect to hit on Rio to go down without a hitch. That being said, Rio does have a way of always coming back from the dead, and with him gone, the girls wouldn't be under as much pressure as they are now, which is essentially what keeps the drama going. But since we've got no idea what to expect, we'll just have to wait to see more. And finally, will the hot tub business that the trio bought be sufficient enough to clean the excess money that they've been printing? Either way, they're in for it now, so they've got to make it work. What do you think of the upcoming 4th season of the franchise? Be sure to let us know in the comment section down below, and also don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as well as hitting the post notification bell so you never miss another update from us. Until next time, guys, see you later.